Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to look at the practice of goal setting. Should you set them or should you forget them? And why do they matter in the first place? Is creating habits better than setting goals, or should you use a combination of both? Oftentimes in life, we like to get things accomplished or change the way we do things, but we do not know how to bring about the desired change. The best way to not change anything is by doing nothing. And the best way to change something is by getting started. That said, there are a few systems, ideas, and strategies to make the goal setting process easier for you. Stick with me as I'm going to reveal a few strategies that will help you crush your goals and get you set up with the right systems to do so. So let's look at things step by step. Step 1. Why goal setting is important, but not the only thing you should consider. Think of the goal as your North Star or compass, and the work it takes to get your goal accomplished as driving to your designation. Step 2. Should you work on setting new goals or creating new habits, or should you combine both? Step 3. Having discipline versus having the right system. Step 4. Roadblocks and how to break through them. Step 5. Why a goal-aligned community matters. Like I mentioned earlier, oftentimes we would like to get something accomplished or change certain things in our life, but we don't know how to do it. The why behind the goal is really the most important thing because it will help understand the desire and clarify the purpose of the goal. Here's an example. I want to lose some weight so I can be more active, feel more attractive, and have more energy for my family. I also want to lose some weight so I can feel better, improve my health, and see the doctor less. The goal in this case is losing weight. It is the compass that points you in the right direction. The biggest challenge, however, is coming up with a system that supports your vision. You probably already know, in order to lose weight, you need to either eat healthier, eat cleaner, or exercise more, or a combination of all three. These are just the steps that come to mind when we're looking at attacking the goal from the outside. But how do we attack this goal on a more practicable, actionable, and day-to-day basis? This brings me to step 2. Should you work on setting goals, creating new habits, or really work on combining the two? Goal setting is only the first step to move into the desired direction. What is now needed is not only an action plan, but rather a system that supports the goal. To put it in other words, your goal is just the compass that points you in the right direction. Your habit is like driving on the right road that gets you to the desired designation. So let's go back to the example of losing weight for a moment. If you know that exercising and eating better will help you get your goal accomplished, but you struggle with both, then the question becomes, how can you prevail? The answer lies in taking the smallest, most sustainable steps in the right direction. The key to taking these small steps is by removing mental barriers to take them. What I mean is making the desired task to get you started as easy as possible. So one of my goals, for example, is and is to work out twice a week. At times, I found that incredibly challenging because I was working a full day, driving home through dense traffic, and then I still had to find a way to motivate myself to get that workout in. I don't know about you, but for me, that was a huge challenge. So my system that I created was to find a gym on my way home. So instead of going home first, I would go to work, drive through dense traffic, and then make it to the gym to start my workout. That forced me to go to the gym. Sometimes I would arrive exhausted at the gym, and I had to sit in my car for 10 minutes, take a nap, before I could even muster up the courage to tell myself, look, you're gonna put on just your shoes, you're gonna put on your gym clothes, and even if you can just do 10 push-ups, if that's all you got, then you can let yourself off the hook. But what that did for me was it got me to the gym, and it got me in the gym, and it helped me get that workout started. 99% of the time, that would not only help me get my workout started, but also get more excited as I was pushing through the workout. Hence the habit of 1, having my workout bag packed, 2, driving to the gym from work instead of going home first, and 3, telling myself, you are okay with doing the minimum workout of 10 push-ups or just, one set of push-ups. Help me to build the habit of working out after a long day of work and getting a workout in most of the time. In my case, it was most of the time twice a week. It is worth mentioning that it is tremendously helpful to, one, have the designated time. In my case, that was Mondays and Thursdays, and 2, to have the location where you're doing your activity. In my case, that was the gym, and then 3, with what? And in my case, that was the packed workout bag. Once you have that model mentally together, you're not thinking, oh, where can I get the workout done? Or when should I be doing this workout? Or when should I do this activity? So those 3 things, like the when will I do it, where will I do it, and with what will I do it, tremendously helps taking the mental roadblock or barriers out of doing this new activity or working on this goal for you. Because at the end of the day, when we're driving and we are exhausted from work and traffic, it is so much more challenging to have to think, like, how do I work on this goal? But when you have everything prepared and prepped for it, it's much, much easier to get working on this habit or to get working on this goal, if that makes any sense. This brings me to step 3, having the discipline versus having the right system. James Clear wrote a book on creating habits that I can highly recommend. It is called Atomic Habits. One of my favorite quotes in the book is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems." In our Western culture, we oftentimes overestimate the willpower that helps us get goals accomplished rather than the system that guides our actions toward the goal. Let me be specific. A while ago, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal that was called, "Can Your Friends Make You Fat?" The article centered or focused around the topic that if you have a community or a partner or friends around you whose activities or whose favorite pastimes center around inactivity and indulging in unhealthy fast foods, ultimately you will engage in the same behavior. And if your goal is to become fit or healthy, you would be drawn into a system that is counterproductive to your goal. Conversely, joining a walking or running club would support your behavior or would support your goal of being more active and living healthier. The same is true for joining a meetup, a Facebook group, or a community that is aligned with your desired goal. This will not only put you in touch with like-minded individuals, but it will also raise your level of excitement and commitment because you will get to share your experiences and your progress with a goal-based community of like-minded individuals. Another way to build a system that positively supports your goal while not depleting your willpower is to remove behaviors that negatively impact your ability to achieve your goal. Let's say you want to eat healthier, but you love snacking on unhealthy foods. Then the best thing you can do is make that unhealthy food less accessible and replace it with some healthy foods you still enjoy eating. This accomplishes 2 things. 1, you will not have access to unhealthy snacks immediately when you crave them. There's now a barrier between your desire for unhealthy foods and your ability to obtain them. Secondly, when your willpower is low or you're just eating mindlessly, you will only be able to snack on the healthy foods in your pantry. This will almost eliminate your ability to snack on unhealthy foods. Put simply, making the undesired behavior harder will help support your goal as well. Here's another example of removing a bad habit that detracts from your goal. My girlfriend recently decided she did not want to be distracted by social media during the day anymore. So what she did was she used an old phone, removed the app from her new phone, and only checked social media at night during a time she specifically allotted for social media usage. That immediately helped reduce the unconscious use of social media during the day, and it also made her look forward to catching up with friends at night when she had that old phone in her hand again. We only have so much willpower to make conscious decisions during the day. If we can find a way to make fewer decisions that cost us willpower to achieve our goal, we will greatly benefit from it. This can be done in two easy ways. One, by joining a supportive community, and two, by minimizing the effort it takes to do that behavior to get us closer to our goal. Or conversely, removing the bad habit that keeps us from progressing toward our goal. As James Clear pointed out, we want to create an environment where doing the right thing becomes as easy as possible and doing the unproductive thing becomes as hard as possible. Step 4. Roadblocks and how to break through them. We all fall off the bandwagon and we have to dust ourselves off and try again. The biggest thing is not to let a temporary setback derail a newly established habit. It is important to push through the challenging day in rather small increments rather than stalling completely or beating yourself up. There were countless times where I was too tired to work out and where I had very little willpower, but what helped me push through these times was asking myself, what is the smallest thing I can do today, and then acting upon that smallest thing. Instead of going to the gym, I would commit to at least going for a little walk. Instead of writing a whole essay, I would commit to writing one paragraph. Instead of reading a whole chapter, I would at least read just one page. Typically speaking, those activities would encourage me to outperform the miniature goal and left me with a feeling of accomplishment. If you feel like you had a bad day, try to take a miniature step in the right direction. Step 5. Why a goal-aligned community matters. As mentioned earlier, a support system cannot only encourage you to continue working toward your goal, but it can also help when things derail temporarily. Top athletes train and compete with other athletes and work with coaches in their niche. Entrepreneurs or solopreneurs work in co-work spaces to draw inspiration from like-minded entrepreneurs for their businesses. Even if it's for something as simple as becoming a better student, study groups will help support your mission. In a nutshell, if you feel like it's hard to establish habits that will propel you toward your goal, make sure you join a like-minded community that has the same values and is mission-driven as well. Let's tie it all together. Goal setting will help bring awareness to the things that you deem most important in your life. However, the act of goal setting is just a start. It can be seen as the North Star rather than the road that needs to be traveled to arrive at your goal. Gain clarity on why you're setting that goal in the first place and then start mapping out some activities that can help you get to your goal. Habits cannot only be activities that you do to support your goal, but also negative activities or things that you can remove from your life. Simply put, you could remove bad habits that are counterproductive to your goal. An example is not buying junk food for your house when you're trying to lose weight. We all experience temporary setbacks. Don't let those derail you. Try to figure out what the smallest step is that day or the next day to make sure you're continuing in the right direction. Community can either empower you or hold you down. Spend some time and find a community that can help support you with knowledge and feedback and help support you too when things get tough. Through community, you will have the opportunity to share your progress and empower others as well. I'll leave you with one last thought. Oftentimes, things that feel good in the moment have terrible long-term effects. Conversely, things that are hard in the moment have very positive long-term effects. Let's look at losing weight and becoming healthier one last time. Eating that piece of so yummy chocolate will put distance between you and your goal of living healthier one bite at a time. Push-ups, on the other hand, may not feel great at the moment. But when you're done with your 5, 10, 15 or 20 push-ups, you'll feel great afterward, and the long-term health benefits can be life-changing. I encourage you, put down a goal on paper. Build some habits that mash with your goal. Take baby steps when things get hard and connect with an aligned community. I'm looking forward to hearing what you are working on and if this was helpful to you. And if you could do me one favor and support my goal, I would love to grow this channel. So like it, subscribe to it, and share it with one friend who is working on goal setting. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the flip side.